Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the United States of a Movie podcast. We're the movie podcast that makes every Monday a fun day as we get together and we talk movies. But we have a point here at the United States of a Movie. We are trying to find one movie to define each state in these United States. We've already done one trip around the states. We're currently on our second, and today we're stopping off at the state of Missouri. Except it's Missouri, but a lot of people call it Missouri depending on the movies that you are watching. And this week, woohoo! Wow, we had an absolute banger, cult classic 80s movie and a 70s Western, a return to a certain character and director that we've had on the show before. And boy, oh boy, was it a banger. Watched it today, really can't wait to get into it. We'll get to that in a moment. Before, let's welcome back our amazing co-host. First of all, in Arizona, Ryan Sander, buddy. Welcome back to the show. Hey, with the hair of one of the main characters.
That's right.
Of one of the movies.
I was doing my best Sam Elliott impression, but I just got back from a 2-week trip in Missouri, guest hosting the local wet G-string competitions.
Oh man, as we explore the world of famous bouncers, honestly, I've got a lot of fucking questions about that movie. Like we'll get to it after we also introduce our other amazing co-host sitting in the middle of his very own video store in Los Angeles, California. Will Hirsch, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here. Excuse me, I'm going to spit on 85 different things. Just in the spirit of the movie. Yeah, mostly dogs.
Yeah,
a couple dead guys, one scorpion. You know.
Oh, geez, that was I couldn't believe that was a plot thread in that movie, but it was one of those jokes, kind of like Ryan you described before, is like one of those Family Guy jokes that's funny, then not funny, then becomes funny again, and then is funny every single time. It was that.
Yeah, and I was like, you never see him actually like take a dip, like chew. He's just always
he just generates like spitting tobacco from some sack in his throat.
He's like a horny toad.
It's like how Godzilla can spit fire. It just kind of has to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of
or like
period.
Or a horny toad, which was in that movie that I think they can like shoot shit out of their eye to like make people fucking run away. But yeah, no, let's talk about that one. Let's introduce that movie. Will, I think you were more responsible for bringing this movie to the table. You were just before we started recording. I think you were saying it was one of the first Westerns you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Tell us about this movie because it's a banger. Great movie. Thank you for this recommendation.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys loved it. It's the Outlaw Josey Wales. I saw this when I was a real little kid. My dad and my grandpa both loved Westerns. And so I grew up with this one, and this did kind of set the bar unreasonably high. So when I would watch other Westerns, especially my old nemesis, John Wayne, would watch some of those, I'd be like, why are none of these as good or are as quotable or have as many memorable moments?
Yeah. Is this the best Clint Eastwood one? Like of all of them, is this because that's the only one I've seen.
Unforgiven.
Outside of Unforgiven.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Unforgiven is better.
I agree.
I mean, of this era where it's like Fistful of
this
Dollars
era for sure.
Okay. Well, I'd say because it's described as a revisionist Western, which is what you like, Will. You like the revisionist Westerns. You don't like the conventional good guy, bad guy kind of like vibe. I mean, like I said, we liked Rio Bravo because it was less of a conventional Western and more of a hangout movie of just guys chatting. You know what I mean? Like, see, and I'm with you on this one as well, as I kind of like these kinds of movies. But the Outlaw Josey Wales, watching it, knowing that I knew about this movie, the only thing I knew about this movie, like I joked with you guys 5 minutes before we start recording, is a throwaway line from Inner Space. But the fact that when I read about Clint Eastwood, I just remember going on a deep Clint Eastwood dive once, that the very first movie he directed was The Outlaw Josey Wales. And if I remember correctly, it's because the original director dropped out and he took over. But watching it, you see a lot of the style that he uses in Unforgiven, but when we get to Unforgiven, he's just so much better at it. You know, he's directed for decades at that point.
Said like this movie, it looks like it came out in the 90s. Like it did not look and feel like it's for that time period of films. It just did not feel like a 70s movie at all. I mean, I know it was sort of later 70s, but goddamn, it looked like it was shot in the 90s. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's such a good it like you guys were saying, like it for this being his first directorial debut, he really kind of knocked it out of the park, and you see a lot of that what would become his later style. But yeah, I love this kind of westerns where I call them ugly guy westerns, where every single guy is the ugliest dude you've ever seen in your life.
Some
They're
great
they're
casting. Mhm.
grimy, they're disgusting. I love it. That's
Mhm.
like right in my
There
wheelhouse.
was
And
one particular character, the actor's eyes are pointing in different directions.
yeah.
And I just love the fact that I picked up on this guy being the weirdest looking guy. And then
Hmm.
Josie Wales in the movie goes, and then that guy on the left, he had crazy eyes. Like,
Yeah.
he did have crazy eyes. I'm not surprised you shot him.
Yeah, but it's like he was born with that, Josie. Like, come on, that's a little
I
ableist of you.
I do appreciate this movie also opens with like the Gladiator opening where it's just him
Yep.
doing his choring and then these guys come and just burn his fucking house and family to the ground.
Yeah, first note that I
3 minutes
have.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, first note that I have from the movie is Ryan's favorite beginning, dead kid, tick.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
like,
he texted us right away to tell us this movie rules, and I
Yeah.
knew exactly what part he was on.
I had to delete my text and send an animated GIF to really set home what I was talking about.
yeah, because he like for the first like I don't even know how many minutes, like his character doesn't talk. It's all done with
Mhm.
like head movements, which is very much like Patrick Swayze directs everybody in Roadhouse.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
but like it's yeah, this movie it kicks off like no nonsense, just dead kid, dead wife, buries them, pulls the sort of the thing over and does the X that I know is 100% the reference that they were using for Hugh Jackman's Logan movie. Because I
Hmm.
was like,
Sure.
ooh.
Yeah.
And then honestly, that being said, is watching this movie, I did pick up like just how many things have taken this as
Oh yeah.
inspiration. I think
I had
Ryan,
to I had to play Red Dead Redemption right after watching this
yeah.
just to mosey around the I was like, oh man, it really captures that spirit. Everything like the way his character looks, the scar. I mean, it's maybe the best Clint Eastwood has ever looked in film. Like
Yeah, he looks great in this
ugh,
movie.
Yeah,
So cool. The beard's so cool. The vibe is cool. And like, yeah, the Red Dead Redemption of it all is that we'll get to it, but him just building his motley crew, which is actually, it just like I
yeah,
said, what I wasn't expecting about this movie is that it's actually so funny. And we're going to get back to
very
this
funny.
movie.
yeah.
Because Ryan, you need to introduce your movie, which is a movie that is legendarily funny in ways, and is every time I do watch it, I forget how violent it is. You think
Yeah,
it's this fun 80s movie, and it's kind of like Die Hard in Missouri with
I mean, it may be one of the most 80s movies ever. Like, and granted,
because
it's
Oh yeah.
and it's
89,
in
right?
89 as well.
Yeah,
So it's
which I
got this
forget.
like it's got this look to it that's got like the 90s movie look, but it's got all the 80s vibe and stylings kind of.
It ticks all of the boxes for me though. It's like you've got this man with no name type. Like the overlap on these movies is kind of wild, except one's a bit more modern. You know, you have this man with no name type character that goes into a new town and doesn't quite fit in and tries to fix everything. We picked 1989's Roadhouse.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I was so happy when you were like you said, "Oh no, guys, Missouri Roadhouse." I was like, "We can do
I
Roadhouse."
can't believe we didn't pick it the first go around, actually.
I
I
neither
what
do
was
I.
our reasoning? Like
I
what
don't
did
know.
yeah, because this must have come up. Like,
Poor research.
yeah, I
Maybe we
guess,
just
yeah.
couldn't believe it because like so right now what we're trying to do is last time around and this was the mind-blowing thing for me is when we you guys told me that the champion of Missouri was waiting for Guffman, which is like just crazy to me because I felt like we just did that movie
Right.
like weeks ago and I'm like there's no way it's been over a year since we talked about that movie, a movie very famously shot about 45 minutes from where I live, which you know then goes
Mhm.
on to win. But in this particular case, yeah, Roadhouse, man, a movie that I'd heard about. I didn't see it until not that long ago for like the first time.
Oh, wow.
I always thought it was just this kind of, you know, Dirty Dancing adjacent, you know, bit of a knock around, drag out. Oh, just people sort of like in a roadhouse. And what it actually is full on murderous rampage, redneck martial arts TNA movie.
The
I mean, there's a lot
stakes
of
are so ridiculously high, but also so unimportant.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
it is really, and it's for me. I mean, like my favorite. Like I got to get into my notes, but one of my very first notes of this movie, and it's something I mean people talk about, but it's the underlying premise of this movie is never really fully explained and doesn't make sense. Who cares? You know,
Yeah.
just the
Oh, yeah.
idea of famous, like you say the man with no name, but anytime he says his name to anyone in America, they go, "Oh, Dalton, I've heard of
Right.
you. You know, the
Yeah.
only guy that's more famous than you is Sam Elliott, you know."
A movie that taught me what a cooler was.
No
Like,
one knows what a cooler
no
is.
one-
There is
Yeah.
no such thing as a cooler, I don't think. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I love that yeah, everyone's like they just need to say Dalton. No, like first or last name, just Dalton.
Yeah.
And everyone knows instantly who you're talking
Even the
about.
blind guy knows who he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
So
they're
knows
all
him by his
buddies.
voice, right? It's like everybody else knows him by sight, and those who haven't met him know him from the fact that he once killed a guy by ripping his
Right.
fucking throat out.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, but what a great character. I mean, Patrick Swayze.
It's amazing.
He is Captain, like, he is, I don't think, you're talking about Clint Eastwood. I think Patrick Swayze in this movie is just dripping in just like sexual energy. He's
It's
like,
the Tai Chi. It's the Tai
he's
Chi.
pure Texas. He's like the white Bruce Lee without, you know, the actual skills. He's got the dancer skills that he puts into action. His body is just glistening and like lithe.
There's so much like lore and mystery built into this character that you're along for it. You're like, yeah, I get it. Like,
I did think he'd be bigger. You know,
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, the movie opens with
I
this
forgot how
bar
many times
opening.
they say that. Like
It's-
every character.
Did you get the joke the first time? Guys, we need to talk about the fact that Patrick Swayze is 3 foot tall.
Yeah.
But like, movie opens in New York where a businessman has flown from Missouri to New York. He has taken a limo to this
It
particular
says
club.
airport limo
Yeah.
service.
just to hire this guy to come to his fucking bar.
And you know he's not from New York, barring the airport limo, because he's wearing a bolo tie.
He is wearing a bolo tie. But hang on a second, didn't we do a New York movie where everything was happening inside the country? Oh, wait, Rhinestone. There are country
gonna
bars
say-
in New York City. So, you know, Dolly
God,
Parton was
could
on
you
stage.
imagine if this was all
Drinkenstein
set in
too.
Rhinestone? Oh shit!
But so he does a deal with Patrick Swayze, the best cooler in the world after Wade Garrett. And he negotiates a deal for $500 a night, a $5,000 signing bonus, and all expenses for his medical, which we will get to, because this motherfucker carries his medical.
he
great.
racks them up.
A
Yeah.
dossier. It's just but there's a line that covers it. He's like, just makes it quicker. Like
I mean, yeah, that doesn't cover the other thing that
it's
I
like
want
a
to.
fucking like 3-inch thick tome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like Batman when he takes his shirt off. He's just
Yeah.
covered in scars. But I was like, wait a minute. So I quickly pause the movie and I just get my calculator out. I do like, he's getting paid in 1989 at this roadhouse. He's getting paid $180,000 a year.
He's worth every penny.
In
There's
89,
no way
that's
this-
$500,000. That's $1 million a year.
I wish you did get a little bit more of the town because basically it's just this one bar. Like you don't really get to see the sprawl. It could just be that one fucking block with the hardware store
Yeah.
that explodes.
Well, everything
the
explodes
roadhouse,
around
and then
here.
the car dealership that gets monster trucked shortly after.
Yeah, monster
The
trucks.
geography's
Yeah,
wild.
there's his little like he lives in the Dukes of Hazzard,
And
which
yet
is
Ben Gazzara takes a fucking helicopter all around.
yeah,
like,
and he's like across the river from the bad guy who lives in Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
Just Jasper, Missouri is a very weird and fascinating place. Though of all the things that are crazy about this movie, the way the movie ends, and we're jumping.
yeah, I
the
love that.
But the way it ends, the actual thing that happens at the end of this movie regarding the bad guy and how many people are there and the witnesses is a real story.
What?
Yes. So there's a true story
That's
that I
how
read
Ben
about.
Gazzara died?
Yeah. And so the thing is, I haven't looked at it, but I know it because I've read it. And I don't know if it was in Texas, but it's a certain piece of Texas history. But there was a certain guy, because I remember when I read it and I go, oh shit, that's the
He got
Roadhouse.
roadhoused? Yeah.
It was a guy who was just such a dick. He was a dick to everybody in the town. He ripped everybody off. He was violent. He was vile. And he had got off. Basically, he'd gone to court. He was obviously guilty, wasn't guilty.
Are you just reading Fox News now?
But no, in this case, he was murdered with the entire town witnessed it, and everyone said, I didn't see shit.
Yeah, I just think clock that too in this movie. It's like the only time you see a police presence is in the last 30 seconds of this movie.
This is okay. Yeah, let's talk about this because it is. There's so many times I go, where are the police? Why doesn't anybody just have a gun?
I assume the Ben Gazzara character has the police in his pocket, but that's never really established. Like he doesn't have a conversation with like the local sheriff.
There's like one throwaway line, or it's like, oh, he has the police, but it's like, what does that mean in this context? They're like that they're not even around where people live. Like, what is that? Like, what do you mean?
It makes no sense to me.
Just in case, all right? Because I know it's just in case anyone is listening to this movie and listening to this podcast and hasn't seen this movie. The movie Roadhouse is a movie about a guy trying to open a bar in Missouri. He owns the bar. And it is a bar that is essentially Melody Ranch from Action USA, which we talked about. But it's just
every night.
Every night, it's just blood on the floor every night. And this guy who owns it has come into some money, and he wants to make it into a nicer roadhouse so he can make bank. So he travels across the country and hires a sort of 3-foot tall little ninja called Patrick Swayze, who is the best at basically being a bouncer in the country. The town is run by an absolute douchebag sociopath who just basically tortures, murders, and rips off everybody. And it comes to a crescendo of Die Hardian levels, which involves just epic violence, throat ripping, and some aggressive nudity and sexuality. That is this movie. It is in many ways like a defining 80s movie. And The Outlaw Josey Wales is based off a book called Gone to Texas. The first half of the movie takes place in Missouri, but it is essentially Red Dead Redemption 2, the movie, is the best way of putting it.
I think it's more the first Red Dead Redemption than the second one, but there's a lot of overlap.
It's Undead Nightmare. So there you go. Here you go. Okay, this is even better. So I was able to look it up. The 1981 unsolved murder of Ken Rex McElroy in Skidmore, Missouri. So this is a Missouri story. 60 townspeople claim to have seen nothing despite the killing occurring in broad daylight. He was a local criminal bully known for numerous assaults and thefts, and it took place right there. Everyone saw it, and everyone was like, damn. I didn't see shit. So
when did you say that happened?
That happened in 81.
So just a short 8 years later,
they made the movie. So that's the one thing is that as crazy.
Is this a documentary?
Yes, as crazy and as stupid and as ridiculous as in many ways Roadhouse feels like it is. It's actually got this kernel of Missouri truth threaded into it.
What about the fat guy who gets crushed by the polar bear who sees this happen?
Based on a real guy.
He is like my favorite and least favorite character at the same time. He's like
oh yeah, he
the
sucks.
weirdest guy, and he's got the weirdest look, and he's like just the way he moves in a way, but like the fact that he the polar bear foot, and that's his line. It's like that's basically how the movie ends. Didn't I note that down? He goes, "It's like a polar bear fell on me." Credits. That's
did you say what about you? Right.
It's
what happens next? Like
so when did you no shit. Yeah, I mean okay, because half of this small town has blown up in the last 18 hours. Now there's been a dozen murders at this very powerful guy's house. Yeah. And it cuts to Patrick Swayze and what's her name? What's the actress' name? Very, very pretty girl. Kelly Lynch. Butt naked in the river, just like being aggressively sexual. Credits. I mean, if you want to boil down this movie, my favorite one of the credits, because I was reading them, was Well Endowed Wife. is the character's name. It's like, and it goes, amazing movie. So yeah, I mean, for me, I only really discovered Roadhouse in the last decade. What
Oh
about
wow.
you guys? Like, did you guys grow up with Roadhouse?
I was familiar with it, but I probably didn't see it until I was in like my 20s, maybe, because it just wasn't on like TV a lot when I was younger. But fucking love this movie. And I was like remiss when, they announced the remake with Jake Gyllenhaal. I was like, it's just not gonna be the same. And I was right. It's not.
Yeah,
They are
it's
making a sequel.
Yeah, great.
cool. Yeah, I think I had seen it kind of like same thing. Saw like in my 20s. I think I'd seen bits and pieces of it beforehand, but yeah, pretty much instantly I'm like, yeah, this movie rules. It hasn't been one of my go-to, but every time I go back to watch it, I'm like, this rules. It
It's
should be a go-to.
it's so good because Patrick Swayze makes it so good. Like
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
think this would work well with like a Van. It would be a very different movie with like a Van Damme or something. Like I know we throw Kurt
Right.
Russell around a lot just
yeah,
because he's so fucking versatile and
and
good at these
great
type of
and
things. But like,
charismatic.
even '89, like a Mel Gibson. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's no one else that could bring this like Maharashi energy to this
Well,
character.
I was gonna
It's
say,
just cheesy enough.
Yeah.
Like it just brings that right level of cheese to it. Like Kurt Russell, it would have made it, ironically enough, too good of a movie. In like the wrong kind
Yeah.
of way.
Yeah. Too
Van
self-aware.
Damme, it becomes an action, just straight action schlock. Patrick Swayze is like that Q zone. That's right where you want to be for this
Hmm.
tone of movie.
I was gonna say as well is that I think it's the Texas of him that really makes that. It's the when he's like he was doing the whole yes sir, and he actually gets told by the guys like sir and me don't go together. Like the interesting sort of interplay with him and the guy he rents his
Oh,
room from, because he's like if
Stumpy.
yeah, I wrote him down as Stumpy. Thank you very much. But it was like, yeah, that whole idea of like, you got a girl up there, and if you don't, like, the suggestion was like, does Stumpy want to fuck Patrick Swayze? Is Stumpy secretly gay in Brazil?
Yeah.
There
I
was
mean,
definitely that kind
every
of argument.
single person, like every woman that sees Swayze, like whether they bar, they work there, it's just
Yeah,
they're frothing at
I
the
mean,
gash for
literally,
him.
the guy that wants to kill him lets him know that, oh man, look, I used to fuck guys like you in prison, so when I kill you, I'm gonna fuck you at the same time.
Right.
But it's like, but I say it's that his Texas charm. So where's he from? You never really find out. But he's just his vibe. It works with the whole vibe of him being a philosophy major,
Right.
and
Yeah.
when his entire vibe of as a cooler is be nice.
Yeah, de-escalate. Right.
Everything is be nice, and that's a very sort of like a Texas thing, is the whole be nice approach. But I was also going to say is like Will, like you were saying, is that he makes it this kind of movie. This movie is basically Action USA. It's just made better.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, because it makes as little sense as Action USA does. It has same action beats, a similar action premise. It's got a bar that is nothing but just a fight that breaks out for no fucking reason.
They got to sweep up the eyeballs every
Right?
time.
It's a
Yeah.
MacGuffin of an entire movie. Instead of the diamonds, the MacGuffin is just that for some reason, this guy is the guy that likes to sort of punch and kick. And it's like, but you take Action USA and you take Roadhouse. Roadhouse is an iconic movie, and Action USA is iconic for an entirely different reason. We love it. But you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Roadhouse
Right.
is that movie rips. Why? I don't know. It's ridiculous and stupid, and there's the hair and the boobs and the butts and the fights and the music and I don't know. It's Roadhouse.
You know what
Yeah.
the secret is? The secret, Sam Elliott pubes. That is the secret sauce.
Actually, it's like no man in this movie wears underwear. Like,
No.
so you get like
It was illegal in the 80s.
it was so you get Patrick Swayze getting out of the bed, and he's like so annoyed that the woman's there. He's like, oh well, I guess I'll just show her my ass.
Neither does Kelly Lynch when they first hook up. She's
No.
like that thing.
She's commando. Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, is she commando? Because I think for a second, because she's wearing the '80s underwear. You know, the underwear that goes from the crotch all the way over the top of
shoulders,
the
yeah.
hips. Yeah, the shoulders.
Yeah, all of the men no
It
Right,
goes
it's
up
underwear.
to
the
the-
Borat.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
up to the collarbone.
It's a singlet. Yeah, all of the men no underwear. All of the women very strange underwear.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
the '80s,
That was the
and then yeah, it's just I forget that I'm watching an '80s movie, and I guess I should, but it's almost like it's just aggressively like, oh, there's a lot of like, oh, there's nudity and sexiness and sexuality, and it's like their sex scene. I wrote that this is just aggressively sexual, just
Yeah.
aggressive. It's more, it's like it's taking the vibe of like the Top Gun aggressive kissing scene in Silhouette with Kelly Lynch and Tom Cruise, and then just like I can't remember what's the other one. Oh it's the sex scene is half Top Gun, half Dirty Dancing, where
Half
like
Hot Shots.
yeah, Hot Shots. Actually, I have a Hot Shots reference for Josey Wales, but it's like this whole movie is just kind of unexplained shit. Lines
Yeah.
like "pain don't hurt." Yes, it does, buddy.
Yeah.
That's a really
Yeah.
stupid thing to say. Guess what? Pain
But it
does actually.
sounds so good coming from him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can
You're
sell
on
it.
board for anything he fucking says. Like
It's a
his whole
philosophy thing. You wouldn't get it.
His whole "be nice" like monologue to the crew is just fucking great.
Yeah.
Be nice until
I
it's
mean,
time to not
What
be
if,
nice.
what if somebody calls my mother a whore? Is she?
Now I have to
And
ask,
what's
like,
her number if she is? Yeah.
because I'd seen fucking Roadhouse many times, but I've only seen Josey Wales this for the first time, and yet both movies are just fucking one-liner after one-liner
Yeah.
after one-liner. Which one had the better one-liners?
Ooh, I'm gonna actually go with Josey Wales because every
I gotta
single one of
go
them,
Josey
they were
Wales.
all unexpected.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see them coming. I mean, it's an 80s movie and he delivers on because it like some of the ones he had another line. Let me see if I can find it. Because I was just like, what is it even like of all the lines you fucking went for? Yeah. You're made for each other. He just said you're made for each other in a moment after doing something cool and I go, what the fuck does that even mean? Like
In Roadhouse,
yeah. It's like so but Josey Wales, like he had little like I think my favorite callback joke was which we'll get to, but it's the we're gonna really hand it to those pale faces. No offense, you know, like it was so funny, and he just didn't see that shit coming.
That fucking
Yeah.
old man banging that young
Oh.
God.
Oh,
fucking
Chief Dan
spouse.
George. I can't wait to talk about him.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
we'll get to that. We'll
But
put a pin in that. We're gonna hold
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But like, yeah, so I'm gonna say Josey Wales had the best one-liners, which was not a line I expected to say out loud today. You know?
No, because Roadhouse is just it's chock full of so many good ones, but also just like you were saying, Ollie, it's so much more confidently made than a lot of that like action slack, like Action USA. It's just it's just a really well made cheesy action movie. It kind of embraces that cheese.
It knows what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why is this guy going to drive a monster truck into the car dealership? Because it's cool and we need to
Right.
make it clear he's a bad guy, you know. So just
It
go
just-
with it.
It looked like a fun movie to be like to make. too.
Yeah. It
I will
looked
s-
like everybody was having a great time.
I will say I feel like I keep wanting to say Kurt Russell. I feel like Swayze and Kelly Lynch, like in their sex scene, like throughout the movie they have fantastic chemistry together, but in that sex scene felt odd to me. I don't know why.
It's because they wanted to fuck for real.
Maybe, yeah.
But speaking of like bad guy, Ben Gazzara as Brad Wesley is
Introduced as the biggest fucking dickhead you've ever seen.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I've got him. He is, I think, one of the best bad guys in a movie because he's just
A real Montalban.
a real piece of shit. He
Yeah.
genuinely does do the helicopter thing just to trigger that guy. He drives down the road and tries to run other people off just be fucking cause. He punishes guys by punching them by being he is a pure sociopath played to perfection.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what makes him such a great bad guy. Of
And it
like,
does-
why is he a bad guy? Because he just fucking likes it.
And this still like does that very 80s movie thing where, you know, Swayze dispatches, like towards the end, Swayze dispatches his main henchman. He goes through the house, kills all these guys, but then they have this one-on-one showdown with him and Gazzara. And the fact that they're somewhat evenly matched, like
Yeah,
Well,
Gazzara kind of gets the upper hand, is so ridiculous to me after him.
it's like the final scene of John Wick, where
Right,
he goes up
yeah.
against, and it's like John, just fucking kill the guy. He does
Yeah.
pretty quickly, to be honest. But I know what you mean. Is like I would say that by that point,
The spear throwing, the guns, like the
he was very
couches,
good
like-
with a spear.
Yeah.
And it was like it's the Patrick Swayze's character has had to go and kill like 15 guys, so he's tired and
He's a little sleepy. All
He's
right.
been shot. You know, it's like it makes sense. There's
Yeah.
zero plot holes.
Right.
Yeah. He's
I-
had it. Yeah,
Go
he's
on,
had
go on.
like I was gonna say he's had like at that point about 60-70% of battle damage going in.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
okay, I guess it makes sense.
The,
But
the the fact though that this movie has like resonated so well
It's
enough for them
crazy.
to take like the throat ripping thing and use that as a mechanism in an entirely other movie, like
yeah,
different movie of MacGruber. What if we
yeah,
just like I like the throat ripping parts of Roadhouse. How do we turn that into a whole film? Like
yeah. What if this was this guy's whole thing? Was just
yeah,
Like,
everything is a
really,
throat
I
rip.
this
couldn't I
is
was
one of
couldn't help
those.
but think about it. Yeah.
What me? You can't help but think about because I don't ever expect it, even though I know
It's
it's coming.
it's like the John Wick, like I heard he once killed a guy with a
With
pencil
a fucking
thing,
pencil.
right? Like you don't ever
Yeah,
see it, but everyone knows about it. Like this guy's got this
This-
metaphysical history,
And
and
it's like, and we just, and then you get a really good scene with Sam Elliott and him when we just kind of get this like, oh, by the way, we should give him some character background. She never told you that she was married, and if a guy pulls a gun, you gotta kill him, and you're fine. You gotta let that go. That's my perfect Sam Elliott impression, by the way. He has an incredible voice.
that's so
Oh my
good. Yeah,
God.
yeah,
And he is
yeah.
honestly just so fuckable in this
you
movie.
could tell like
As a straight guy,
once
I'm
he
like, dude, I
you
want to be
know,
that sexy.
for
Yeah.
for as many times as I've seen this movie, and I assure you, it is many times. Like I like the plot device of him showing up midway through to help him out. Like, did he call him? Like, I always forget why he shows up, how long he's there for, that
Yeah.
he actively is trying to fuck Kelly Lynch, and that he
Aggressively.
dies. Like, I
Yeah.
forget that he fucking dies.
It
Like,
annoys
Yeah.
me every time when he
yeah.
dies. It's
I
like,
remember like he just shows up for that one night and then fucking leaves. Like that's how I
I
remember it.
mean, what's crazy about, like I said, like Roadhouse as well, a movie that seems to have influenced other movies. I same thing about Josie Wells, but the bad guy is basically the Joker. He's just pure chaos and stuff like that. But then what does he fucking do? He does the exact same thing that the Joker does in The Dark Knight. He goes, either this one dies or that one dies. And he tosses a coin. And it's like, it's fucking like Chris Nolan's like watching Roadhouse go, that's a fucking great idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put
Gonna
that in a
use
great
that.
fucking
I'm
movie.
gonna use that in Tenet.
And then I'll do it forwards and backwards. It's going
Yeah.
to be great.
He's just got to work in the naked Tai Chi like practice.
He is a great villain. I do wish he were like a bit more unhinged though. Like for as unhinged as he is,
Dude, how
like
much more unhinged could he be?
very, I think.
What more hinges would you like to remove from
I
him?
don't
I
know.
mean, he just like he's
If he was a little bit more like Gary Oldman and Leon, if he was
Yes,
oh
yes, yeah.
yeah.
Like a little more like untethered, like just some
Mhm.
like a proper amount of crazy. Because in this one, he's just like a bit of a dick. Like he,
Wait,
you know,
mate,
he
wait. He's a
Just a
little bit
bit.
Sure,
more
he's-
than a bit of a dick.
Sure,
He's
he's extorting all these businesses.
blowing
and-
shit up and fucking like
Yes. But did you see his pool parties? They
Yeah.
look fun.
yeah, it's sick
Yeah,
pool
yeah,
parties,
well, yeah,
man.
he did, yeah.
Yeah, and like honestly, and all of his fucking henchmen are just so joyous. Like the bit where they come out and like I got the quote, and he's like, "Oh man, like they get in the car after ripping off Red and fucking everything up," and he's like, "Oh, life is good." And they're like, "Yeah, man." And they just drive up like, "Oh, I'm so glad we just messed around with that octogenarian." You know, it's
Right.
like it's just like it's just, and they're in the background. Anytime like the bad guy's just being a dick, they're all in the background going,
Yeah, these
Yeah.
guys love being evil. It's like their favorite thing.
They just love being dicks.
And they're good at it. And they're also different characters too. Like I liked each of the individual henchmen.
They would be very
had their own
popular
personality.
online influencers nowadays because they just love being assholes. I love the bartender that gets
Oh,
fired, who's the
that
nephew.
weaselly prick, yeah.
Yes, oh my God, the most punchable fucking face
Yeah.
and like
Mhm.
the worst mustache and teeth that you're just like. But they do some great casting because anyone who's a bad guy in this movie just looks like such a dickhead.
And I like the
Yeah.
premise, like they all work for the bar, and he susses them all out for skimming or fornicating, and walk in, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I don't think
yeah,
should be a terrible
fucking
offense.
underage like kids. As
He
well.
was
Like,
on his break. Well, you don't know. We don't know that.
They're not 21. I know that much.
Yeah, that is true. He doesn't show goodies. But because they all work for Ben Gazzara's character, and they're like, they sure do like to hold a grudge.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
man.
kidding.
I
Yes,
do wonder if someone called the phone number on that wall
for the Buick.
asking about
For the
Buick.
Buick.
Yeah, I do wonder about that.
That's a good joke. That's a
That
good.
would
I
have been
forget it every time, and I was like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny."
that would have been my move. It would have been funny to get the person on the other end who's just like, everyone keeps calling and asking for a Buick, implying
In
that
a
nobody called the first time.
in a Naked Gun style version of this, you would have like it would have cut back to that character every 20 minutes, and then it would have circled back at the end.
That would be the end credit sequence. It's just,
Mhm.
again.
Jesus Christ! I
It's
didn't know
Edie McClurg on the other line.
Yeah.
there was a stage adaptation of this as well. This is a movie. There was a sequel in 2006. No, there wasn't.
Like a
was a
straight to video.
Straight to, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. But like, it's, I mean, it made $60 million on 15 million, but it wasn't like really like receptive, or there wasn't great reception
Yeah.
to it in a way. But then on home video and then on cable, this is one of those things that just like, it seems it was a very
This is the
all
Singer's
Americans
Batman,
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think the tonal shift in like that particular genre was like at its apex. It was kind of changing into more 90s style action films, right?
Yeah.
And what would we say, like, because Batman came out in '89, and probably a few other movies that I can't think of. So I can see like this. I mean, it's understandable why this would become such a monumental cult classic years later.
It's interesting. I'm looking at the other movies that this guy. So the director is Rowdy Harrington. Great name. So his second movie was Roadhouse. Wow. So his first movie was Jack's Back, which is a James Spader movie in dual roles. And then he goes on to Striking Distance with Bruce Willis. But then he did a bunch of movies. He did The Stick Up with James Spader. He did Eyewitness with James Spader and Jeff Daniels. Like James Spader and this guy liked working together. And I'm looking at all of his movies. The only ones you've ever heard of are Roadhouse and Striking Distance. And there's these other ones that I'm fascinated by movies. That's the thing that, like, I guess one day maybe if we will change the podcast or do something, is like when you see movies that come out nowadays and they vanish, because we know all of these incredible movies with these incredible actors that we grew up with. But there are these movies that star all of these people that came out that year and just vanished, just did nothing. I'd love to watch some of these movies that, like, the same year that Indiana Jones comes out, that there's some other movie that had some superstar in it that is just absolute garbage. And I just like, because we talk about those great years, 1999 and 1984, and all these years where there's every movie that came out is the greatest movie ever made. There have to have been some terrible
The Action USA series.
Yeah, no, but like,
Yeah.
but starring A-listers. You know what I mean? The shit.
Yeah, like
I mean, you just listed a
was
bunch of James Spader movies, so I don't know. Like,
James Spader is amazing, as is Jeff Daniels. Yeah, sorry, I did a little sidetrack there. This guy, Rowdy Harrington, fascinating guy. But yeah, he made movies from his last movie. He wrote 2025. Looking through the wood. So guys, yeah, Roadhouse too. Guy is still working. The thing that I was talking about earlier, his medical degree, and like his
philosophy degree.
medical records. But yes,
Oh yeah.
why? And this was weird. Okay, this is the part I was like going, as I'm writing my notes about how weird it is that he carries it around, but I'm okay. It makes him kind of cool. I like that. And then the doc goes, it also says here in your records that you got an NYU degree.
Yeah, why would it say that?
Why the fuck would that be? It's like, wait a minute. Wait, what records is he
Again,
selling?
in like a Naked Gun style thing, she'd be thumbing through and all the shit would be like
Yeah,
falling
yeah.
out, like
Right.
receipts and coupons and his
Oh,
diploma.
yeah, like I see you had to take pre-algebra twice. Like, like
It's like, you like Hawaiian pizza? Fuck you. It was so weird. I was like, and again, as soon as I wrote it, I go, who cares? This movie is the most who cares movie I've ever seen. I don't care about any plot twist. I don't care about why apparently he's the most famous fucking bouncer in the world. I don't care about his really good kung fu that's terrible in a way, but sometimes it's really good because he's not Bruce Lee. The throat ripping, the bad guy, the fact there's no cops, the FBI never show up for the multiple racketeering, explosions, bombings, terrorist attacks, murders, none of it. I'm just like, yeah, this movie fucking rules.
yeah. I mean, I tried to, like, as I was watching this movie, write down why is this happening? And then I got kicked in the nuts and called a nerd. So I stopped trying to question this movie.
I took some notes out. Let me see here. Sweeping up the eyeballs. I don't fly. Too dangerous. I can go nipple to nipple by myself.
Nipple to
question
nipple.
mark?
Yeah, it was my yeah. So that was a good question. So
Yeah.
the guy goes, "Let's go nipple to nipple," and she goes, "I can do that by myself." And I go, "Is she just like saying that she can turn her breasts inwards and press her nipples against each
Yeah,
other? Is that what she's saying?" I mean, she was quite well endowed, but I was that was again Ryan. That was a group. Was like I was like, what?
I was surprised no character was like, show me what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. Considering the bloody movie, I do like the comedy moment of well-endowed woman and husband. And he's like, guys, you got $20, you could
Oh
kiss,
yeah, I was just
kiss
gonna
her
about to say
tits.
that.
And like the guy comes over and he's just groping and groping and groping. He's like, hey man, why aren't you kissing? And you're like, I don't have $20. I'm like, that is a funny fucking line. It's so stupid.
It seems
but
like the most
funny.
innocuous things cause and this happens again every single night at this bar.
Yeah.
What is the owner of this place's hopes to turn this place around that he's paying Kurt Russell, he's paying Patrick Swayze $500 a night. This place doesn't make $100 a year. This place doesn't make $100 a night.
And then, oh man, the audacity of Patrick Swayze when he goes to rent that room. And the guy's like, "Oh man, I barely even want to like charge you. Can you afford $100 a month?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess I can." Motherfucker, that's 20% of one night's paycheck.
I do love.
The room is so nice.
It's so
I
nice.
love
From
it.
above a barn? Are you kidding me? Like, why?
And by the river. Oh my God. And like
It's got a little Tai Chi area.
so many bugs with that window open. But just like great. I would love it.
I remember the first time I saw this when I'm like, why would he like drive his Mercedes into this town only to go and buy like this piece of shit car? Why is he stocking up on extra tires? Questions which are both answered in the following scene.
I love it. It's brilliant. And it's the same thing that he turns up, dumps his car in California or New York, throws the keys to that guy. And I always in my head remember it being some like 1966 Cadillac Eldorado or something. And the thing always comes off and I go, it's just a Mercedes. You know, it's just a late 80s Mercedes. Yeah, I know, but you'd think it would be some cool car that he loves. It's just a modern car. And as much as he loves it and preserves it, he then uses it.
He stabs a knife into the gas pedal and then jumps over the thing and then it fucking explodes.
Yeah, he just sacrificed it. But yeah, no, that is one of my favorite little character bits that he does this everywhere. And he knows, the first thing they're going to do is fuck up my car, slash my tires. And so I'll just buy the cheapest piece of shit that's got an engine that runs.
I wish there were like 25 of these where he just goes around all over the country.
It'd be a great TV show.
It's the same exact, kind of like Poker Face. It's not like a
slash Jack Reacher. You know, he just goes around fixing problems. You know, one thing you notice a lot in this movie, and they talk about it in a lot of the behind the scenes, is that everyone does their own stunts. So every fight scene is just all of the actors throwing shit around. Like Sam Elliott saying, I fucking got the shit kicked out of me for the entire film. The guy that plays, I think Marshall Artigue, who's the guy that is the antagonist, like, I fuck guys like you in prison. Him and Patrick Swayze didn't initially get on, but when it got into fight scenes, they realized actually they're pretty dedicated to stunts. And so they started like improvising in the same way that like you see the behind the scenes of the John Wick movies, that all the stunt people go, no, Keanu Reeves knows what he's doing. Yeah. And the reason you know is because the guy improvises. And like it's like a dance. Yeah. And so they started just throwing like a lot of real punches and kicks. But there's one bit where the bad guy like swings a log at Dalton at Patrick Swayze and thinking that it was breakable. It wasn't. And so Swayze ended up with 2 broken
ripping
ribs.
His throat. Oh yeah.
And then the other part of it is as well is like because this comes after Dirty Dancing, and I remember we talked about that on our Dirty Dancing episode with Beth Troutman. Is that like his knee is just a classic injury that he had, and like it was pushed to the sort of the limit that before like that big fight scene they had to drain like 2.5 like ounces of fluid from his knee.
And he got it famously from flipping over that fence in The Outsiders. Well, Dirty Dancing was Dirty Dancing was what, 87?
Dirty Dancing was right before this one.
Okay.
So like the tagline or something along the lines of like the dancing's over and now it's time for violence. Or
Now it's time
something
for fucking.
yeah. Like yeah, here you go. See, this thing is like so criticism of the box office disappointment. It made $60 million or 50 minutes in the late 80s. That's not that disappointing. But like United Artists marketing the film as lighter and more comedic to attract more female moviegoers. And that's the thing that I'm sort of talking about is that I'd always picked up that vibe. Like when I finally watched Roadhouse, it's violent and angry and weird and sociopathic and there's throat ripping. And I'm like, wait, I thought there was a bit more like of Cocktail vibe, you know, just with a bit more
Yeah,
kick.
I could see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I do like when he eventually does rip that gentleman's throat out and Kelly Lynch runs over to turns
To
him over to
treat
see
the
if he's
guy.
okay.
Yeah.
God, are you all right? Yeah.
And it's like, but then it's thank you for bringing that up, right? So there, so she's a doctor. And
What
so
if the throat rip didn't kill him? The infection from the swamp water did.
But like she's shocked, you know, the Hippocratic Oath, and she just watched a murder. But then like it's the bit again that just doesn't make any sense, but fuck it. But it's like when Patrick Swayze has then gone on a murder rampage. So he has gone through this entire house and he's like stabbed, shot, thrown knives, you know, whatever needs to be done to take out every single henchman. He is finally like taken out the bad guy to the point of being able to rip his throat out. He's there with the throat ripping fingers, you know, the 5-finger death punch exploding heart technique is coming. And then he sort of looks over and there's the doc and he goes, you know, I mean, I did just kill those 10 guys,
Right.
but if I kill this guy, she's not going to want me to do
And
it.
he's holding his hand there for so
Yeah.
long. Like you'd see Ben Gazzara like look around like,
You're like, what are you doing? Like,
It's like the hand of like the guy from fucking Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, like
yeah,
Halima Shruti Day, like rip his
this is
fucking heart
the
out.
Mulan Ra, yeah. It's yeah. I mean, it is such a funny reaction on the villain's face because I don't think he knows about the
no,
throat
yeah.
ripping. So he is just kind of sitting there like, what? What is?
What if he did the
what are you gonna
Miyagi
do?
like grab his nose and went?
Purple, he's just
I was
like,
kind of
"Wow,
ready
what?"
for that. Yeah.
I was reading the bit where like because there's almost like there's no guns. There are they turn up every now and again to just end a scene, but are very rarely used like in a scene.
Right.
And it's like, and then like knives are quite common. They'll rock up and they'll definitely cut Patrick Swayze so he can either stitch himself up, get stitched up,
It's
or,
an
you
excuse
know,
for him to take his shirt
just
off.
take his shirt off and like show his medical records and go, look how beaten up I am.
I
But
wish
it's like
that would
the-
happen more, like happen to 3 other doctors where he just keeps his medical records in.
But the note that I wrote is referencing like Unforgiven, but it was just as I'm watching it, it goes, he brings a knife, you bring a gun. He brings a gun, you rip his throat out and fuck the prom queen. So I brought like I brought all of it, but it was just like the lesson of this movie was so bizarre. I was like, okay, he brings a knife out, now I'll rip your throat out. And then he brings the gun. It's like, okay, gun is like if you're threatening to kill Dalton, he'll rip your throat out. Up until then, he'll be nice.
And
He'll
the implication is that
bad.
he stays in Missouri and remains the cooler of this bar. Like,
Unclear.
who's to say?
You know,
Yeah.
was it like, did he die at the end of the movie and that is the thing that he's remembering? Is it his imagination while he's in solitary confinement for the multiple murders as a serial killer in Missouri?
There's no evidence. There's no evidence of that.
Nobody saw anything, so
Nobody
there's
saw
no arrest to
anything.
be made.
The fact that like everyone in this town, like every small business owner shows up at this house at the exact same moment.
Well, they've got nowhere
Yeah.
else to go because everyone is saying
Yeah.
one of their houses and businesses have been blown up in the previous 30 minutes. So
Right.
it's like,
But they all hand the guns to the
Yeah.
hardware store guy and he's like, I got this. Like
He's-
he's literally got
Yeah.
a bushel of weapons that were just
as
fired.
the cops enter the house, he comes back a minute later, and you're like, "What did you do? Just throw them out the back door?" I mean, like, what did you do to get rid of this shit, bro? Everyone's like,
Yeah.
"I didn't see shit," and they're all like pretending to laugh, and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
the-
well,
the-
I guess everyone's cool."
the bit too where the polar bear guy like looks over and sees the 3 monkeys, the see no evil thing,
Yeah.
and he's like,
I actually,
I don't know.
I really like that shot.
Polar bear fell on me.
I mean, he's got
while
the
there's
fucking-
bodies just
tosses the
hanging
gun
all over
away.
the place.
It's literally the fucking Ace Ventura 2 room,
Mhm.
like with all the
Yes.
taxidermied animals.
This is the lovely room of death.
did like
got
the bit when Bengazera's character throws the spear and you can tell it's like on a
It
tethered
was
line.
perfectly like just that's where you're like, wow, he's really dangerous. He knows how to throw a fucking spear crazy good.
Yeah.
Like he's like that's what explains why he's so good at fighting, Ryan.
He's killed all of those animals.
He
by
can
bare hands.
defy gravity by throwing a spear with such like
You're-
strength that it doesn't
You're
even drop.
you're positing that his character is the most dangerous game of them all.
He is, yes, and he's going to. Oh, now I just want to watch Hard Target.
Cut the second the alternate ending of this movie is just Patrick Swayze just stuffed in position, added among his collection.
I love that you keep saying Kurt Russell.
I can't.
every
That's all I can think about.
This movie, though, it's such a satisfying watch. It looks good.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's stupid. The music's great. Like it says one of the producers is Steve Perry. You know what I mean? It's like
Perry.
you know,
From
but it's
baseball.
like it's exactly what I was thinking when I read his name. I just started saying it like that.
Perry.
But yeah, no, you got the cool music, you got the cool vibes, you got
It's-
the sexy dudes, the sexy girls. They get naked. I mean, the bit that I was finding crazy when I was reading about it is the other blonde girl who's just trying to fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Was super nervous about having to do her. When she's like, "Can I jump up on stage?" And sure, baby. And she gets up on stage and she starts dancing and she gets topless and all this kind of stuff. And I was just reading that she was nervous, and then the day before the scene, her boyfriend committed suicide.
Oh,
And she did it like, no, let me do it
God.
as a distraction. And I was like, that was one of the craziest things I read in the back.
Jesus.
I was like,
yeah.
take the day off. She's like, no, I'm
She
gonna.
she was also in Point Break with Patrick Swayze.
Wait, is this the same girl? She's in
Yeah,
Point Break?
the buxom blonde
Yeah.
gal does the striptease. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, she's in Point Break?
Yeah.
That's Lori Petty?
No.
No, that's
It's
Keanu Reeves.
yeah.
Apparently, Annette Bening was originally cast as Duck, but she was replaced by Kelly Lynch.
Kelly Lynch, who I really only know from
This movie?
from Curly Sue.
She's in Kelly Sue? I only saw that in theaters when that came out.
She's the woman who takes in Curly Sue.
No shit. Oh my God. And Patrick Swayze, he was approached to do Predator 2, but was unable to because he was injured in this movie.
Oh.
Because of
Imagine him ripping the Predator's throat out. Fuck yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, honestly, I really need to rewatch Predator 2. I haven't seen it
Yeah,
since.
you do.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's actually got, and whenever I read about it, it's got great reputation.
It's the sweatiest movie since Time to Kill.
It's Danny Glover, right? Just crushing it in them. I remember it being fun, but like,
It's awesome.
yeah. All right, I need to. Where was it set? LA, right?
LA.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that might be my pick next time around.
We should probably talk about the Roadhouse sequel or the Legacy,
The remake?
the remake. Yeah.
Yeah, the legacy. I didn't hate it. I also
Yeah.
didn't like it.
I just
It's
I don't
Doug
think it
Liman who
needed-
either just crushes or doesn't like a movie.
Right.
He either absolutely
Yeah.
nails it or it doesn't
I
work.
don't know. I'm like torn and like when I heard it was being remade, I was like,
I love
all
Jake
right,
Gyllenhaal
Jake
though.
I do too,
He's
but like
fucking
everything
great.
else in the movie is just like like we always say, it's like a LaCroix version of that. It's just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like hitting all the beats, but it's just not doing them as well.
It's I think the UFC of it all too kind of
Ugh, yeah.
ruins it. Like
Oh, yeah.
Getting Conor
especially-
McGregor.
God, future president of Ireland. Like, yeah, having him in there is a real kind of like buzzkill. But just the UFC background of it, I think changes the tone. It makes it not fun,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that's kind of what you want, is you want the fun. I will
they,
say though,
they explain it like that's what we don't
Yeah.
like about it is like, well, they've given a reason for it, whereas in this case, no, he's just a famous bouncer, and we're like, okay,
yeah,
Go.
and the one thing I will say for the remake is I do think genuinely the fight scenes are on a technical level really cool.
Did you see how
Like-
they did that?
Yes,
They
I've been
they
obsessed with that.
Yeah, it's really clever, and it's actually very jarring. The first time you watch it, the very first fight scene with Post Malone of all people, is you're thrown by what's happening because you're like, is this whole thing CGI? And you're like, no. So Ryan, do you know how they did it?
I remember looking it up when the movie came out, but I didn't care enough about the movie
Is
to retain that knowledge.
Fair.
basically they shot it 3 times. They shot each fight scene 3 times, and they sort of stitched it together so that instead of they're either punching a bag, being punched by a soft bag, or like, and then there's another one that they're doing. But basically, so the impacts are real.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's an impact when they're punching, there's an impact when they're being punched, and they're taking the different elements of the fight and stitching it together so that when they'll punch, it lands,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
also lands on the person's
Oh,
face.
instead of using like camera angles to kind
Yeah,
of.
no, so it's
Yeah.
just they're able to. It's a really interesting approach, and
I remember seeing it, but I remember
I was
also kind of
intrigued.
being taken out of it. Like you can kind of feel the
That's
CGI-ness of it.
see, there you go, and
It,
that's
it's
the
it,
thing.
yeah, it's not quite there yet. And I think also it being shot digitally,
Oh yeah.
that just the way they shot it didn't help matters a whole lot. I understand that the thought process of having the camera kind of loose and shaky, like I understand that brings an energy to it. However, the reason like they used to shoot like action scenes like that with the camera kind of locked down is because then you could see everything,
Yeah.
and it just makes it
Jackie
so much
Chan
more.
perfected this shit 35 years ago.
Yeah,
Fucking,
it's
like, we
like
don't need to.
it's like that criticism of the two Bourne sequels,
Yeah,
and then at the time though, when it happened, people kind of liked it because it
It
felt
was different.
messy
Yeah.
and it felt desperate, but it didn't age well.
Right.
And
yeah,
it's like, is like Ryan, you're absolutely right. Is that the absolute perfectionist of it all is Jackie Chan of like, no,
Mhm.
one, don't move the camera too much, two, let them see it, and three, we will do 2,000 takes if that's what's necessary to
Yeah.
get it.
And
yeah,
but then in a more modern way, you get like movies like The Raid, where action sequences are shot like that. Granted, these are all like professional martial artists doing this action instead of
right.
fucking Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a Mandela effect on everybody listening. Everybody's gonna think Kurt Russell's in this movie. It's gonna be like a Shazam Kazam thing, like just
I'm gonna deep fake him into Ghost. It's him and Patrick Swayze on the throwing fucking clay.
So that's actually a perfect opportunity to segue over to another Western starring Kurt Russell. No, just kidding. This is the Clint Eastwood. Let's go back to the Outlaw Josey Wales, which we got started on, and is a movie that, like I said, we were just touching on at the beginning about how surprisingly funny the movie is. And like I said, when Ryan, you brought that up, is that about the one-liners. If you had given me guesses about what this movie would be like, it was constantly surprising me about going a different way. And it's based off a book, like I said, which is like something along, it's called like Gone to Texas, or I'll look it up when we're talking, but it's like based off a book. So that's why it's got kind of like a cool, like the story's really good.
It's got this episodic feel to it as well.
Very, very much
Yeah.
so. But what I liked is that I felt like that Clint made some choices that kind of worked for me. Is that the movie started very quickly, straight into this guy's wife, kid dead. Now he's angry. Bunch of guys turn up and say, "Hey, we're seeking revenge on these redlegs," or whatever they're called. And then it goes into like the riding and shooting montage that we get at in Tombstone at the end. And this one just goes, the montage is about 2 minutes long, and it goes, hey, and then the Civil War happened, and then this guy died, and then the Civil War was over, and then it just gets to now, because we all watch Lincoln, if we watch the podcast, and it's like how at the end of the Civil War, it was like, no, it's done. Everyone go home, and it's just go down there, say you're done, and we're all good. And so we've got all the character we need. We got this guy's angry. He had a family. He was fine. He was happy. They killed his family. He's out for revenge. He fought in the Civil War, and he's still got a job to do. There's still people that need a killing. And like very, very and like, again, barely 8 minutes in. And then the rest of the movie happens. And I was like, Ryan, like you said, I was astounded about how much movie is in this
I mean, it basically, because I watched this in like 2 days, but because I just didn't have time. But I mean, it essentially goes from location to location. He kills a bunch of people, spits on a bunch of shit, goes to the next location, as you say, bish bash bosh, rinse and fucking repeat until the
Yep.
end of the movie. And I was
Right.
like on board for it.
Yeah, but you say that, but it's
I don't mean it in
more,
a bad way at
no, no,
all.
no, but it's more complicated than that. That instead of it just being this thing fight scene, this thing fight scene, like we were talking, I can't remember what movie it was the other day, but and then this happens, and then this happens.
Right.
This movie was like this happens because this, and because of
Therefore,
that,
yeah.
therefore that happens, and like it was. Again, I was just expecting it to be like that kind of Western where he just
Yeah.
goes and he shoots people and he's cool. And what instead happens is, okay, so he picks up the kid, right at the beginning that gets himself
Like,
wounded.
They get the
him.
double the classic double cross in that opening sequence is I think because I was expecting this to be a more like revenge tale because of
Yeah.
what happens in the beginning of this movie.
Yes, it's just
And,
a single-minded pursuit,
Yeah,
which
kind
is
of, but not
unforgiving.
really. It's like, yeah, it's his crew goes to turn themselves in. It's a classic double cross. The pieces of shit fucking kill all of them except for the one kid who gets wounded. And then he reconnects with Clint Eastwood's character, Josie Wales, like rides in to save the day, saves the kid. And then I'm thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be like them for the rest of the movie. But no, it's not at all. Like
No.
I kept like twisting my expectations of
Yes.
like where I think it's gonna go.
And that's
I
what
love
makes it such a good movie.
It's
Because
so good.
it's like anytime you feel like you know what's going to happen, it doesn't. And it goes
Yeah.
a different way.
They're
And I
so
love
good
it.
at introducing like new characters
Yeah.
for him
Well,
to
so you referenced the
work on.
double cross scene at the beginning, and that's that I mentioned about an hour ago when we were talking is you mentioned hot shots, and I'm like, oh, I've got a hot shot thing because it's the bit where he does turn up and then he jumps in on the Gatling gun. And I go, this is just the body count scene from Hot Shots 2. You know, like part 2, when it's like, and it goes, more kills than Total Recall, more kills than bloodiest movie ever. And I'm like, dude, he just killed like 60 guys. I mean, I'd love to do the actual body
I
count
think
of this
more
movie.
soldiers showed up like throughout the scene and just like, hey guys, what's going on? And then got mowed down.
Just walking into bullets.
It like it goes on so long it goes into the next war.
Yeah. They actually start bussing new guys in, and the moment
But
they get off, just
It does that classic like style of action, like gunfire action, where it's just like a shot of him firing the guns and then a reaction shot of guys like falling over in comical ways.
yeah.
Yeah, it was, yes, you did. It was the 70s way of being shot.
Yeah.
And it's 70s blood. Like, so
There's
if
no
you're
squibs.
shot, if you're shot, your shirt has red on it. There's no hole in your shirt where the bullet went.
It's a paintball gun.
It's just like dab, and all of the blood is just like it's an inoffensive kind of red. It doesn't make you feel like,
Oh, it's like bright, like corn syrup.
yeah, it's not that kind
Yeah.
of dark red sort of thing. It's like, this is before Saving Private Ryan, which changed the way people died. Saving Private Ryan was scary.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you just shot and people would just fall.
And there's no limbs being blown off in this movie.
This one was just boo, boo, but you weren't getting like the classic Western falling off a roof kind of stuff, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's no Wilhelm screams.
But like,
No.
But then you assume that all right, it's going to be him and the kid, and they go off, and then like you actually get that like really great scene with the
river
ferry.
That's
where
great.
the ferry guy is like talking about, and it's interestingly prescient of like, in a time like this, it's like, you're subtle. And so it depends. Am I going to be singing Whistling Dixie or am I going to be singing this? And the fact that as he starts going back across the river, he switches songs because he's going back to the Union guys. That was great. Just like a little touch like that.
And it's almost like there's this built-in lore to this Josey Wales character that everyone also
he is
knows
Dalton.
who he is.
Everyone knows
exactly.
him, knows how he looks, knows what he looked like. It's like, because the scar thing's pretty fucking cool, actually.
Is he Dalton's grandfather? Like,
That's the lore I fucking want. Yes, because at the end of the movie, he goes and sets up a roadhouse. That's what he does.
oh
Yes.
shit! It's called the outhouse. It's just outhouse. The single deuce.
Yeah, shit goes down.
Yeah.
Guys, we've made the movie right there.
Great.
Oh, start a
yeah.
production company.
That whole sequence, you get
The
like
single deuce.
every character in this movie is so memorable. Obviously, we can talk
Yes,
about the snake oil salesman who's fucking great.
that's what I wanted
That's
to get to.
fantastic.
Yeah.
The old lady sitting on the in the rocking chair
Mhm.
with the pumpkins, like
Yeah.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
need 20
incredible.
pounds of beef jerky and just a bunch of other shit. I don't fucking know.
And she's like, "You take it, Josie Wales. You come pay." And I like the way he's got his lines like, "Yeah, I reckon."
Yeah.
When it comes to these moments. But yeah, let's like very quickly talk about. Let's talk about the spitting because I couldn't believe like it's a character thing. It's
Yeah.
a something's annoying him, he spits on it, and like something that he wants to go away, he spits on it. Or it's the if he spits when you're talking to him, that's his we're about to go down. No,
Right, you're
it's
about to
about to
die.
go
Yeah.
down. And I was like, I couldn't believe how far they took it. Like, when I sent you that
I was
gif
shocked with how many
from
times.
Naked Gun, the Naked
Yeah.
Gun joke where you get 35, 40
Yeah.
people all spit in a
Or
row.
even in like to the movie we never talk about, Hundreds of Beavers, the fucking spittoon
Yeah,
tape.
the
Yes.
spittoon.
I kept thinking about that.
There was so many
I
hundreds
but
of
my
Beavers references.
but my favorite payoff to all of that is towards the end where he's about to spit and Granny gives him
Yes,
the
the
eye
look
and he just
swallows it down.
swallows it.
I was like, I cracked up. Like, for the
So good.
yeah, because that's you're so right, Will. 'Cause it's the comedic payoff of I've made this joke,
Yeah.
20 times, and there's this woman that in a way that we didn't quite like her, and then he wrote it, and their character growth of those characters, and
Yeah.
for them
Yes.
coming together, and for her, she's like, she didn't even say anything. She just
Doesn't
looks at
there's
him.
a
And
line earlier when
just
they
a
first
holding.
meet where when he does it and she goes, "It's a disgusting habit" or something like
Yes,
that. Like
there's a
she
very
has him out
first
on
thing
it.
she says to him, and then when she's inside the house, like the store, she's like judging everybody. But then it comes out that her son was killed in Missouri by people like him. That he was a red leg. Or help me out, guys. Was I right with red leg? It's
Red
Yeah,
boots.
the red legs.
Right.
yeah, okay. Which again
Red
is a
legs.
cool way of identifying the guys that he wants to kill. So
Yeah.
Which
very
is a
very
total bullshit made up thing for
yeah.
the story, but
No.
it
To
absolutely works because
to quote my review of Roadhouse, who cares? But it's
But man, like that fucking river crossing scene
it's great.
it's so good because they get across and he's like, "We gotta go, man." They're gonna come. And he's like, and they just like take a fucking nap. They
Yeah.
take a little siesta.
And then
Waits for them to get in the middle.
I said, "What are we gonna do?" He's like, "Well, here in Missouri, we have a thing we like to call a nice little boat ride, and just boom."
Yeah.
Missouri
And
boat ride.
I was
Yeah.
fucking
Fucking rolling
great.
block rifle shoots the thing. The horses fall into the water.
Oh,
It's
there's a couple of stunts where I'm like, that's some dangerous shit, especially
feel bad for the
involving
horses. Yeah.
horses
Yeah.
falling over, horses almost tripping. But it's right around then with the snake oil salesman who is like you said, Ryan, you nailed it.
It works. It works on everything.
Yeah, and he goes,
Great.
oh, he spits on him.
How's
How's
it
it
work
do
on
with
stains?
stains? Oh,
Great.
just like what a line! I was just
So
that's,
good.
that's when I was like, oh, it's that kind of
That's
movie,
that like type of comic relief that's not too like over the top.
right?
It's not slapsticky. It's not really meant to be like it is funny, but I don't. It's almost like not played
It's
for a
not
joke.
it's not a self-aware
There you
one-liner.
go. Yeah.
It's
Right.
a one-liner the character's doing because that's who he is. He's not doing it for the audience. That's
Right.
why
Yeah.
it works.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's the exact opposite of an Arnie one-liner or a Sylvester Stallone
Yeah, of
or
course.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
just Josie Wells making a fucking point to that guy. It's like, go fuck yourself, and also, how does it work on stains, you bitch? Like, great.
Yeah.
Just it's character development in such a great way. I loved it. And that's when I was like, because Clint Eastwood in this movie,
Oh yeah.
he's just the right amount of sort of want to be alone but not leaving anyone behind. He's not driven by I need to be good all the time, but he is a good person. He is violent and he is caring. He is complex. It's fucking great. Like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna
You
rewatch
can
this.
honestly picture him as like the Sam Elliott character in Roadhouse.
Yeah.
That could have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like it's. There's so much. I mean, about it, and then then we get to that point where it's also a great scene where
The two guys that rob them, or try to
yeah.
rob them.
and then
Shut
One
up,
of them-
Gav. Yeah.
And one of them is played by fucking Uncle Leo in Seinfeld. I lost
Yeah.
my
Oh
shit
my
when I
God.
heard his voice. I was like,
and
this
it's
is
like
amazing.
great scene again, and then like the kid, he pulls that sort of that
Smart,
moment.
great. Yeah.
But then you get the bit with the Rose of Alabama or this that, and he starts singing the song,
Mhm.
and he like honestly, the fact that the kid was like, "I'm not afraid of dying anymore," and I go, okay, dead meat.
Well,
And then like,
yeah.
like next
Shouldn't have
scene,
said that.
son of a bitch. And he's like, they keep calling me dead meat. By the way, I watched Hot Shots the other day. It's still just as funny as it ever was.
Absolutely.
But like, so then we get introduced to the chief.
Chief Dan George.
Oh, good Lord. I've never seen the guy in anything. He is brilliant.
Yeah, and by the way, it should be said, because we had our
Ernest Goes
Ernest
to
movie.
Camp. I was thinking about
Italian
that.
That
dude,
guy,
yeah.
the Italian
Yeah.
guy, Chief Dan George, actual chief, like that, like of his tribe. Like, so that's not a Hollywood title. That he
Which for this
actually
time
earned
is
that.
amazing. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's
So
a Canadian actor.
Chief of the Tsleil-Waututh Nation, a Coast Salish band whose Indian reserve is located in the southeast areas of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Actor,
Yeah.
musician, poet, and author.
He's fantastic in this
Yeah,
movie, and just
fucking great.
he has my favorite line in the movie where, like, a little bit later on, Clint Eastwood is like, "When I get to liking somebody, they're not around for very long."
Yeah.
He just goes, "I notice when you get to disliking somebody, they're not around
They
for
don't
too
stick
long
around
either."
very long. Oh, that great line.
Is that right before they
Fantastic.
crash the horrifying sexual assault scene?
Yes,
But
right.
it's like, but then, right, then what do we get is that, so they've introduced each other. Josie's pretty smart about distracting people. He sneaks up on him and he's like, I became too civilized the whole thing about the civilized Indians, great.
Mhm.
But the whole idea of like, yeah, I went and sneaked up on him. So later on, he sneaks up on him and he goes, only an Indian could have done that. And he goes, yeah, I reckon that's true. And he goes, what? And then it's literally
Yeah,
like the meme of like, when all those people in there, like, it always was. kind
Never
of thing.
trust. Yeah, don't trust anyone, even yourself.
Couldn't believe it. But that they play it, it's great. Played for jokes. And then
It becomes like, by the time they get to the town, it becomes like a completely different film. That's why I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
it's so
Well, yes.
episodic.
No, because you've got the first episode is him. Well, technically, the very first episode would be the prologue.
Prologue, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but then you get the him and the guy getting away episode. Then it's him meeting the native guy, and then picking up, the other native girl episode.
Town, yeah.
Then you get to like we're into Texas, so we start the next episode, which gets to Rio What's Its Face. Then we got the episode where we're at the ranch and he's happy, and then you get the final episode, which involves are we going to go to war with the natives, and then it's actually we're going to go to war with the white guys because it's like 6 episodes.
Yeah, he goes
Yeah.
to dig the guys that are just buried head
Yeah.
like up to their neck in the sand. Like, who are these guys?
Great.
Yeah.
But like, Chief Dan George, when he turns up, you get this buddy, but instead of it feeling like that, it's more like, Clint Eastwood at no time is trying to team up with any of these people.
Yeah,
Josey Wales
right.
does not want to be with these people.
He's so quick to leave anyone behind if he
Bye.
needs to.
And he's
Yeah.
like, ends up. So suddenly he's there. And then suddenly the girl's there. And it's not like he walked in and goes, get your hands off that woman. It's more like these three guys then tried to fuck him over.
Right.
And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to kill you guys. And he's, he's very good at doing it. When it's like, and then she turns up and then she's annoying as shit to him because I can't understand a
She just
word
can't-
she's
she
saying.
keeps talking, yeah.
And
And then you
get-
think like, oh, maybe I'll have sex with her, and then the funniest fucking reveal. I guess I'm not that old. What do you say?
yeah, because I guess I wasn't that old. It's
That was shocking to
It's
me.
been hilarious. But it was also the, can I help you? And Clint's like,
Yeah.
no. As in, he's like, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt kind of thing. It was just, it's just.
It's like, you're gonna hop in here? Or?
Yeah. it's just the right amount. And it's the same thing with like, Grandma, and the Turners, so Sandra Locke's character as well. Is that like when you first meet them, they're judging him and then he almost sort of reluctantly rescues them because they've also got Chief. And I did laugh, is that because suddenly he's got the dog, and then the next scene cuts to it's like 7 people now, and he's just it's like, oh man, poor
like the bit
Josie's
with
just trying to get away.
When they're in town and he's like buying stuff from all the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper's telling him about Josey Wales.
Yeah.
And you just know he's like, man, if I ever had information on that, I'd be a wealthy man. And he's like, because he shows him like a picture, but it's not of him, right? Or
Yes.
Of some other guy that had been shot.
And then he leaves, and that's when the snake oil salesman recognizes him, and that's when shit goes
Brilliant moment.
That's
which is when we get the crazy eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then and then all this is going on, and then you've also got the sort of the subplot of John Vernon, who I love, like the guy. So Fletcher, those blue eyes, but he's just a way that can deliver a line. Yeah, and he's got there's one of those amazing voices.
Oh yeah,
and it's like even the way that ends up. You know what I mean? It's like it's not just good guy, bad guy, and it's not good and the bad. You know, the sort of gray area. It's you've got characters, but they all have growth. They all go through age, and every single character, and there's like 8, 9, 10 of them. They all have growth.
What I didn't understand was because they're paying Fletcher to hunt down and kill Josey Wales.
Only because
Fletcher really doesn't want to. Fletcher was basically framed.
Right. You know, Fletcher essentially brought his guys in. He was, imagine like the officer. He'd done a deal with the senator. He brought his men in, double-crossed. And the fact that the young kid and basically Josey know that Fletcher lived, they're going to go, well, now they think I did it. So now I have to kill that guy because he's going to kill me. Thank you very fucking much, Senator Dickhead. You know, so like his motivations are sort of like, I'm on his side technically, but I want to survive and they're going to kill me. Which is why you were so confused about where he was mentally at the end of the movie, which is brilliant.
And that shot with him sitting at the bar with I was thinking like this would be an incredible film, like just in black and white would be striking.
After what we saw with Night of the Hunter.
Yes.
You know, just a perfect execution of how a black and white movie could work like in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that moment, the Fletcher moment, I was like, where's this going? And I love that. Like, if you're in a movie and you have the good guy and the bad guy.
Oh, because they're all telling the story about he was.
Hey, Mr. Wilson or whatever. Yeah, brilliant.
Don't mind the blood pouring out of me.
Now. It's the West.
How long is the story going to be?
What is the timeline of that? Like, how I joked that it was like over the course of 4 days. How
it is clearly months. You know, it has to be, considering they go from Missouri to Texas.
Yeah, and everyone knows about them. Then you have the bounty hunters. Like, my one gripe is that every gunfight essentially ends the same way. It's like a showdown, stare down. Mm-hmm. Someone moves, and then he just immediately kills
everyone. When he finally gets douchebag McGee, the guy that basically
when he's
killed his family.
He's like, just reload your gun, man.
No, but that's honestly, I love that bit as well because during the movie, essentially, like bullets don't matter. Not in an 80s way, but in a way that, like, if you just like thinking about the West, you never see. There's no reloading, and there's that bit during the montage. They're just riding on horses, shooting guns because it looks cool, but they're not shooting at anything. Okay. And we have these big sort of shootouts, and we do get the montage of him shooting and over and over and over again until he destroys that piece of wood to show that, okay, he's a great shot. But the moment when he gets that guy and he's got all of his weapons, that was one of the most powerful scenes for me, that he goes, because the guy is paralyzed with fear. Mm-hmm. And he flinches at every empty dead man's click. And it's just click, click.
Click, click. That number the 3, guy...
click, number 4. That is the guy. That's the guy from the very beginning.
Okay. That's what I was making sure.
Yeah, so he just didn't have the beard, but that's the blonde evil guy that was also the guy that helped kill all the guys. Yeah. And he's just a dick. But it was a really satisfying. And then for him to go for the sword that caused the scar, and then it just like, you didn't expect it. He didn't. I was expecting, like I said, Ryan, I was expecting it to be a kapew, and it's not. He got to live in that moment, and there's some cool bits of directing, that he's doing the click and we get a flashback, doing the click, getting a flashback. I'm like, cool. Yeah, this is very fucking cool. Really enjoying this. Well done, Clint Eastwood. Like you're crushing it on this one. In the same way that when they get to, you set up for the fact that ranch isn't going to be real, and then it is, and it's really beautiful, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of like, we live in a moment of happiness for about 15 minutes. And it's like, there's sort of like, the interesting thing about, so Sandra Locke is that they would go on, and I realized I've seen her in these sort of other movies. I didn't recognize her at first because I've seen Any Which Way But Loose, and I've seen that like Buffalo Bill or I can't remember it, but they did like 6 movies together. They actually had a relationship. They also had a pretty acrimonious divorce if you look into it. So, just live in the moment in this movie. But it's like, we have that sort of thing, and then we've added in the story from Chief about is it 10 hands or 10 something? I can't remember.
10 bears.
10 bears. Thank you very much. The sort of malevolent Comanche that are like they've been pushed and pushed and pushed and they're not being pushed anymore, and now we're in their land. And then we get that prep area, like he's very cool scene as well, where he's
That
like,
conversation between the two of them is
well,
unbelievable.
no, I'm gonna get to that, but it's
right.
the setup for it, where he's like, put the weapons here, put the weapons here, you can do this, and it's like I was expecting we were going to like, have you ever seen
Home Alone.
the Michael Caine movie Zulu, which is
yeah.
Zulu is incredible movie that then has this action scene that goes for like an hour at the end of it, which is just this onslaught. Incredible movie, Ryan.
That
like
sounds
I grew
awesome.
up watching it. And then you get like you said, Ryan, the other thing. He rides up. We've been programmed now from Chief. He's not coming back. He's off. And what's he going to do? He's going to try and kill 10 of them. But no, you have this brilliant scene of the native chief and Josey Wales face to face, and they talk about men like us. And it's like, and is it? Do you want to do the version where we live or the version where we die? And I was glued to the screen, just glued. I didn't expect.
It's the most he talks in the entire film.
Pretty much, yeah.
But again, every line that he's saying is very Dalton-y. Like it's just this like
pain don't hurt.
Yeah. I can go nipple to nipple myself. Right. But he's like we can either live like I forget the exact line. He's like, we can either live together or we can die together. Like it's, that's how it's like an incredible scene.
It's and the scenes continue, because then he's like, all right, goes back. I got to ride off and save these people. Suddenly, it's the scene we were expecting comes from left field. It's like they're all there. Now he's face down 1 to 20, and then the scene kicks off. And like, so he takes a bullet. You get this really cool action scene that we thought was coming. It happens. Now it turns into this chase where he finds the guy, kills him, like I said, with the click, 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 click. But then we get that extra scene. You get
epilogue,
the Fletcher scene. And my question I want to give with you, like the way that, like, it's a brilliant way of ending it, because like, so okay, which way is it going to go? And then it's like, it's this guy that was driven by revenge, and you even see this moment on his face when he does kill douchebag McGee, where he kind of just like, you see him do this thing with his face where you almost see like, so I've done it. He's
cured. Yeah.
Well, not so much. No, see, he's not cured, because another thing I like in this movie is he's constantly waking up with fucking PTSD of his wife and child dying. Mm-hmm. Like, he's never faced it. He has taken all of that despair and turned it into violence. And that violence is to end this thing. And in that moment, he's technically reached the end of that line. And now he's like, and now what? In that moment, which is kind of cool. And then very next scene is Fletcher, and it's the and now what of it all, and that's what they talk about. It's like, look, and that last line is like, I guess we all died a little bit in that damn war. And it's like, my question to you is like, in reference to kind of shame, is does Josey survive at the end of the movie, or does he die?
Well, yeah, he's got to be the grandfather of Dalton. So
that's right.
But I think this movie leaves it up to the viewer, because he rides off, and but he's shot and bleeding, and was like,
it's so funny. I didn't get the sense that he did. I feel like I don't know. I mean, you make a great point. I didn't think Fletcher would turn on him. I didn't think there would be like a showdown between the two of them. I think that whole scene played out pretty much how I thought it would. It's shot like they would have this, pistol showdown. They're both standing there facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Fletcher looks down and sees that he's dripping that fucking pink ass blood on his on his perfectly clean shoes. I think he rode off into the sunset and lived happily ever after.
I think so too. I mean, there's talk about like in the books there were sequels and stuff like that, but it's like, or just I was interested to see your read on
Josey Wales go to camp.
Yeah. Josey Wales scared stupid.
Holy shit. These are all children's books, yes?
Yeah.
The other thing that I found quite interesting actually is what was her name? Did I say Sandra Locke? Sandra Locke. Is that she looks so young in this movie, and she actually wasn't. she was being interviewed and she told them that she was 20, like for like a variety interview, a Hollywood Reporter, and she was actually 30 something. She's only like about 12 years younger than Clint Eastwood, which is why like we're then dating. But in this movie, she looks like seven.
She
Yeah,
looks really like
very young.
gaunt too, like very
Yeah.
very thin, but played that character so well. I mean, you don't even hear her speak and like until well after you've met her.
Yeah.
yeah. This
And
movie was made in 76. Yeah, she was born in 44.
that's crazy.
She's like 32 when she makes this movie. She looks 17 in this movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, is this kind of like weird and uncomfortable? And then I looked it up and I go, no, not at all.
Clint
She's
Eastwood
just...
was 75.
It's like, but I just, this one, like, this one, it slapped. And I'd always
It's so
heard,
good.
I'd always heard. And like, the interesting thing about it being like the whole disagreement with like what's his name, Kaufman was the original director, disagreements about how things should
Andy
be done.
Kaufman?
Like that the director was just obsessive, spent too much time setting things up, attention to detail. Apparently they had a bit of a love triangle with Locke. Apparently they were both attracted to her, and then it was just he went off because he was obsessing about a thing that needed to be in the scene. And while he was gone, Eastwood shot the scene super quick while they were gone.
And then
Caused
spit
this.
on him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So dude got fired at Eastwood's command, caused outrage to the Directors Guild, and
It was
apparently,
pretty quick into shooting too, right? It was
yeah,
only
it's
like 20
pretty
some odd
pretty
days.
fast. But it's like there was a fine, like 60,000, which is a lot back then. And then they passed a new rule, which is now known as the Eastwood Rule, which prohibits an actor or producer from firing the director and then personally taking on the director's role.
That's why Jim Varney never went on to direct
There
the
you
Final
go.
Ernest movie.
Yeah, the Ernest in Vietnam prequel movie that we all really wanted, the dark R-rated like exploration of the soul that created the multiple personalities that
Ernest
exist.
goes to space. Ernest versus Predator. Like
So yeah, this movie absolutely crushed in so many ways, and it does. I think I'm talking to Bobby again. We've referenced him in 3 episodes, but Bobby's one of our biggest fans. But like because so many people like Unforgiven is such a surprise to people when I showed it, like Tills when she saw it as well. This is a great companion piece to Unforgiven. If you're gonna watch two like Clint Eastwood sort of westerns, and this is coming from a guy, like I said, that's never watched the Sergio Leone trilogy. We have to figure out a way to do that. But it's like that I found Outlaw Josey Wales and Unforgiven to just be like father and son, to be aunt and uncle, like a cousin, and it's just they're so related and gave a sort of very similar, satisfying feel of not the way you think it's gonna go.
I was just blown away too by like how much chemistry he had with every
Everyone.
character he's introduced to in this.
Yeah.
Like you could really see how great it would be to him, like for him to star in a film next to an orangutan.
Twice.
Can you imagine?
Just spits on it constantly.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I did not like him spitting on that dog.
No, the first time really
No.
bothered me. And then, but like, it's just like, but it's also him just going, can you all just fuck off?
Right.
But I just love the fact that, he is also he's not just an incredible shot, he's an incredible spitting shot as well. He can hit, be it insect, be it lizard, human being.
It's a cartoon level, like an old Bugs Bunny style spit take. Yeah. Bounces off walls and shit.
So of course, though, the biggest question is there's no debate from us that these two movies rule for different reasons. One is just cult and just fun and Outlaw Josey Wales is fun because it's good. It's not about what's the best movie, it's about what's the most Missouri movie. And what's kind of interesting to me in this one is that absolutely none of these movies were shot in Missouri. So Waiting for Guffman was shot in Texas, Roadhouse was shot in California, Outlaw Josey Wales was shot in Utah and California and stuff like that. But I will say, I loved the incredible American location work of Outlaw Josey Wales. Just stunning.
I will add, and I'll make this real easy. only one of these movies had a guy wearing a Missouri sweatshirt. And I'll let you guess which one it was.
Was it Outlaw Josey
Chief
Wales?
Dan George. Yeah. You know,
See, the thing about so real quick as well, the thing with Josie Wales is it's a Missouri movie for half of it,
Right.
and then it goes to Texas. But
yeah.
what I'm saying in my heart of hearts is Josie Wales is more of a Missouri movie than either of the other two, even close in my brain.
More than Waiting for Guffman?
Well, like it's Waiting for Guffman. I mean,
And I'm looking at Waiting for Guffman beat out just so I can be even more angry.
well,
Whatever
Will,
you
while he's doing that, Will, like, what are you thinking on this one? Because like it's a tricky one. Ryan, what were they?
Yeah, it beat Gone Girl and Ernest Scared Stupid, so I can see
Okay, not the
I can
strongest.
see we made the right choice there.
Hey, Gone Girl though. That's the one where we were like all on location shot. So okay, so I guess when we were talking Waiting for Guffman, we were like that the characters were. It was a very specifically small town thing.
Which we love.
Yeah, and like though it was shot in a Texas small town.
Yeah.
It was like kind of mind. It's that one thing that like I said, Ryan. It's one of your favorite things to say is like, but it could have been shot in ...
That is true.
and it
That
could have
is
been
true.
shot in ... It's just the Missouri of Josie Wales is that thing that's getting me. Now, Will, come on, you got a look on your face. I'm interested. Where are you feeling on this one?
Roadhouse is based on a true story in Missouri.
That is true. You did say it yourself.
Wait. Oh yeah. Shit. Will. No.
Cracked it.
I mean,
No, because
what-
Josie Wales is not a real guy. It was a novel.
right.
It's not often actually. If Josie Wales was an actual like Young Guns, a documentary. You know what, Will? You're damn right.
Yeah.
It's actually a documentary. Roadhouse is a true story, kind of. They're just-
Mostly 98%.
but honestly, that's a great son of a bitch. That's a great point. That it because when I did read that story, I didn't.
You broke Ollie.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love it. I love it.
I mean,
I love it.
That's just as much as I love Outlaw Josey Wales, and my dad and I love it. It's one of our favorite movies to watch. Roadhouse, I think just given the fact that it all, even though not shot there, it all takes place in Missouri,
Yeah.
except for the opening scene. And the fact that it's got that nugget of like, yeah, it's inspired by a real douchebag.
Did you ever think like going into this, you always have that preconceived notion of like as you're watching this movie, you're like, oh, this has got the juice. This could take this episode. But we never know until we actually start talking about it
Yeah.
2 hours later. Did you think like had he not dropped that nugget of wisdom, would you still pick Roadhouse?
It would have been really tough, actually. I would have been hemming and hawing. And maybe what would have pushed me over the edge is that Josie Wales himself, like you were saying, Ollie, is Missouri. Like he brings the Missouri wherever he goes. But that nugget right there, I'm just in my head, I'm like, damn it, that's I think the kill shot.
Yeah. And the fact that story happened also in Missouri.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
the thing.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not like this movie is inspired by it, but at the same time, that happened enough that
It's
I'm
a
like,
pretty interesting wrinkle. Yeah.
it is a great one, and honestly, Will, I love it, and I think you've crushed it.
Because conversely, like we said, like this could be any bar in Texas or
No, 100%.
literally anywhere. Like it just happens to be in Missouri, which makes it even funnier to me.
No,
Right, yeah.
done.
Like it's probably why we didn't pick it on the first go around because we were like, "There's no fucking way this takes place in Missouri. This is a Texas movie." Right?
Cannot believe that this is about to happen, but the new champion for the state of Missouri of all the movies is Roadhouse.
Guffman's gonna have
Hell
to keep
yeah.
waiting.
Yeah. Okay. No. Hell yeah! Question mark! Exclamation mark! That yes, the new champion for the state of Missouri is Roadhouse from 1989, starring Patrick Swayze
And Kurt
as
Russell.
the guy. Kurt Russell.
Sorry, Kurt Russell.
As the guy that the other guy would fuck in prison. Directed by Rowdy Harrington. It's great. It's crazy. It's violent. It's sexy. It's 80s, and it's Missouri.
It's almost as good as the as the Patrick Swayze movie Overboard. With Goldie Hawn.
I think we've got a new running joke that's going to be turning up in this show a lot.
You've got to make a T-shirt that's Roadhouse, but it's Kurt Russell.
It's the new Dylan McDermott Mulroney.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, I can't wait for these designs that are definitely going to turn up.
I'm writing that down.
Please do, because I'm going to be texting you to remind you.
That would be just the funniest shirt to wear around. Just be like, oh, Roadhouse. And like people just constantly like,
It's going to be
it's
kind
like
of
Kurt
like
Russell.
the
Like,
Terminator 2 Sylvester Stallone gag
Yes.
from what's the
exactly. From Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero. That is the one. Yeah, don't forget you can always find Ryan's designs as Rhino Digital, and you can find links to them sometimes on our Facebook page, which is the United States of a Movie. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe. But when it comes to Missouri, there are still plenty of movies that we could choose. In fact, some of the ones that we talked about before, like we were circling, Ryan, you texted us some of them. There's Winter's Bone. Mm-hmm. Which is not what it sounds like. Isn't that like a Jennifer? What's her face movie? What's
Garner?
No. It's
Lopez?
no.
Connolly?
Is it Winter's?
Jason Lee?
Winter's Bone is the Peter Jackson girls murdered movie.
Right? No. This is Winter's Bone, starring Jennifer
That's
Lawrence. Yes, it's the Jennifer Lawrence movie. It's the one that launched Jennifer Lawrence. Actually, 2010. It's what kind of made her famous and put her on everybody's like radar. It's pre-Hunger Games, set in the rural Ozarks of Missouri. We did. I touched on trying to get that one.
What is that one about? That's not the. What is that one?
The one the I read the book. I know the one. Okay, hang on. Peter Jackson.
Nerd.
No, The Lovely Bones.
That's the one.
Yeah, this is the Winter's Bone.
You're thinking of the Bone Collector with
Denzel.
I'm thinking Bones and All with Timothée Chalamet. Yeah.
So Jennifer Lawrence. Winter's Bone. It's got a really, really great. It got Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance. It got 4 Oscar nominations for Best Picture,
like a movie for
actress. Yeah,
That's right.
that's a good one. Another one that's there's a lot of really good movies actually. There's The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
I remember we were like Ryan and I were looking it up, and like every third movie was some sort of Jesse James assassinated.
Yeah.
Different decades.
That one's shot by Deakins. I remember watching the first 45 minutes. My son was like brand new or something at that time, and I never, because it's like a 3-hour movie.
It's an incredible movie that I just don't have the fortitude
to get through.
put my through.
Yeah. There's a great movie that I watched a few years ago. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Great movie. Really good movie.
Sam Rockwell and
what's her face from Fargo?
Frances McDormand.
The one, Frances McDormand. And there's also that Riz Ahmed movie from Prime.
Oh yeah. Sound of Metal.
Sound of Metal. So like,
I wanted to pick that, but I also didn't want to cry.
Yeah. Honestly though, that's kind of funny that like we've just crowned Roadhouse and there's 4 Oscar nominated movies.
I'm just gonna watch Roadhouse again next year.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bother.
What's your fucking point, nerd?
Throat rip. So look, when we come back around to Missouri, there are some absolute bangers that we could go for. No doubt we'll go with the Roadhouse.
They all better have wet G-string consents, or we're gonna have some fucking ribs.
Hell yeah.
But the question though is, as well as where we're going next week, I believe it's to the state of Arkansas, as you were saying. Apparently there's an actual law against saying that in Arkansas.
You said that in the last episode. Yeah,
it's true. Because I said it once and people are like, you don't do that. But the champion from
Name
that
or state something else then.
Yeah, I agree.
Get over it.
Is the great movie, the one we really enjoyed, the Jeff Nichols movie, Mud, with Matthew McConaughey. That movie was an absolute banger. We really, really enjoyed it. And actually, coming off the back of that, it looks like we might be going down a very similar route. So tell us about, Ryan, tell us about
We picked
that movie.
Yeah, we picked 2007's Shotgun Stories starring Michael Shannon, another Jeff Nichols movie. His first feature film, I believe. Not sure on that, but
So yeah, I know. I'd
curious.
honestly never heard of it. I looked it up on our non-sponsor sponsor, who one day we are sponsored, Just Watch. One day they'll find us. It's available for rent pretty much everywhere, unless you have no Crunchyroll. No, it's just available for rent. So you can find it on Fandango, you can find it on Amazon, Apple TV for $3.99. No problem. Looking forward to that one though. Like I said, I'm kind of a fan of Jeff Nichols.
Yeah,
You know, there's that movie, the Midnight Special.
Midnight Special. Yeah.
That seriously, Ryan, put that one on your list of just like it's a good, but watch
Really
it at
good.
night. Watch it at night as well.
Well,
Just
pick
like
it for the podcast, dude.
yeah, okay. It was a bit of a road movie, that one.
Well,
But
we
then
are
there's,
due for an update on our road trip
we
episode.
should.
So.
And there is another movie that as like a Will special, which is in as much as I've never heard of this fucking movie in my life. So Will, tell us about this movie and how do you even know about this?
Okay, so the movie is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. It's kind of a proto slasher. I only know about it from the YouTube channel, Matt Draper's YouTube channel. He talked about it. I have not seen it, but I'm very familiar with the director, Charles B. Pierce, because I love the Boggy Creek movies and how bad those movies are.
So Charles B. Terrible.
Charles B., as Mystery Science said, Charles B. in over his head.
Were the Boggy Creek movies after this one? Or before?
I don't. I think so, I think one was before, and then two, which doesn't exist, and then the other two is afterward. He made two Boggy Creek twos, so it's not.
Right.
Oh, but when I tried to pick Return to Blood Fart Lake, you all laughed me out of the room.
Well, in this case, guys, you've gotten pretty good because we got a tight 90, and then for The Town That Dreaded Sundown, it's a tight 86. So including credits, probably about 80 minutes long. On our, yeah, like I said, on Just Watch. In this case, it's available for rent. You can find it. It's not available anywhere for, well, yes, actually. If you've got MGM or Philo, you
Will's
can
got the
find,
box set. Yeah.
or if you've got the novelization, Will's got that one as well. So it's the town that dreaded the town that dreaded sundown, and Shotgun Stories up against Mud next week, where we head to the state of Arkansas. So if you want to join along with us, make sure you check it out. Also, like I said, our recommendations for this week: Roadhouse, absolute banger; The Outlaw Josey Wales, what a great watch as well. If you aren't, like I said, subscribed already on YouTube, do us a favor and subscribe. It's always annoying when you see how many people watch and who aren't subscribed. If you're on Spotify and you haven't rated us, if you're on Apple, you haven't rated us, again, it takes 2 seconds. Just do it. Rate us and recommend us to one of your movie-loving friends. Find us on our Facebook page, The United States of a Movie.
Show us how you all go nipple to nipple. Like
Show
is
us
it done?
nipple to nipple.
Yeah.
That's how we
Please.
want to do.
Yeah.
And show us
It's
whoever.
like the three seashells from Demolition Man. Like no one knows how this works. The people demand answers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm going to be trying that one a little bit later. Honestly, this is a great episode, guys. I had such a great week watching these episodes, these movies. You can find Ryan, like as I said, is Rhino Digital. You can find Will as entitled Millennial. We'll often talk about some of the great movies that he's got on his shelf, over 1,000 of them. And you can find me as Ollie Petrico on Facebook, or as That Englishman and Texas, everywhere else where I like to talk about mostly all things Texas. This is a great week, guys. Thank you so much. So from Ryan, from Will, and from me, thank you for joining us for this episode of the United States of a Movie podcast. Yeehaw.